Hi everyone, my name is Aloha. On behalf of Alessandro, Daniel, and Margot, I will present to you our paper entitled From Collaborative Habituation to Everyday Togetherness, a long-term study of use of the messaging kettle.
Let me begin by introducing the Messaging Kettle. This is the Messaging Kettle. It is an Internet of Things prototype used to explore connection through things. The Internet of Things is the notion of equipping objects with Internet-accessible identification and data sharing capabilities. The Messaging Kettle is an ambient device designed to connect two distant persons over the routine of boiling the kettle to make tea. The Messaging Kettle augments the user's existing kettle through a kettlemate that senses the kettle temperature and a smart tea box that embeds messaging through handwritten messages or scribbles. Although Kai research has explored many forms of phatic, tangible, and embodied forms of connection, almost all trials have been short-term and failed to build sustained connection. We wanted to explore how and whether an IoT device such as this could build and sustain connection over time. The idea of the messaging kettle was conceived during a visit to an older woman's home who loves tea. Here are some photos during that visit. This visit opened up the idea of connecting with someone through their habits and habituated objects. The messaging kettle design was also conceived to explore a divergent path from the common technology design solution for older adults, the use of monitoring technology. There is a proliferation of design solutions for older people that involves tracking and monitoring them remotely, just like this one. The monitoring system uses sensors placed around the home of older people, connected to a central hub, waiting for a typical data or incident that would alert a remote staff and may also alert carers or family members. Older people are passive recipients of this technology, being observed from a distance. The messaging kettle is an example of a shift of framing the problem and solution. Through an innovation developed from a participation and co-design approach, the messaging kettle prototype shows a device that shifts the notion of remote passive monitoring to a technology that engages and fosters reciprocity. As mentioned, the messaging kettle comes in two connected pairs of two kettlemates and two tea boxes. The kettlemate glows when the remote person's kettle is hot, indicating they are in the kitchen in the process of preparing tea or coffee. The messaging kettle is a very specific and special form of connection between two loved ones separated by distance. To learn the role of an IoT prototype such as the messaging kettle in the life of older people, we conducted long-term home trials between 4 mother and daughter pairs. In the time of writing, the range of use is between 2 months to 2 years. 2 of the pairs are mother and researcher-daughter pairs. We discuss the autobiographical design and research aspect of this work in the paper. In the interest of time, I will focus on the findings and the contribution of this work. Let me share with you a quote from Kelly, one of the trial participants. She said, "I think if I didn't have the messaging kettle in the kitchen, it would feel as if a sense of being cut off and loneliness. But having that light, you have that sense of movement as if you are not alone." The long-term home trial of the messaging kettle showed how a new form of technology that was continuously used was able to create a warm closeness that let both users have a feeling of being part of each other's lives. A feeling of everyday togetherness. This togetherness is characterized by the visual embodied aesthetic presence of the remote special someone. This is Kelly's visual embodied aesthetic presence in her mom's kitchen, a representation of her nightcap routine. Everyday togetherness is also characterized by the knowledge of each other's rhythm of presence, such as experiencing someone's regular nightcap routine through the kettlemate glow, or knowing the morning walks a loved one takes as expressed in this handwritten message. Another characterization of everyday togetherness is the shared moments of the mundane and the extraordinary. For instance, sharing the big news of winning $100 from a bingo game. Everyday togetherness is also characterized by planned and serendipitous coordination of activities, such as this happenstance invitation for a day out. Everyday togetherness was made possible through the phenomenon that we call collaborative habituation. Collaborative habituation is a process through which two or more people develop new practices in using a new device together by responding to and encouraging each other's use that eventually led to new sets of habits. Gradually, the exploratory technology use of the initial stages of the trial transformed into new sharing practices that in turn cultivated their long-distance relationship to another level. We observed that collaborative habituation was facilitated by these conditions. In the interest of time, let's discuss one condition of collaborative habituation: the calm communication that reblends synchronous, asynchronous, and phatic informational communication. The Messaging Kettle gives the option to exchange written messages in real time when both parties are in the kitchen, or simply respond to messages whenever user feel like it. The phatic communication in the form of the warm lava lamp-like glow represents a loved one's tea time. Plus, paired with written notes that allow just enough bandwidth of information to be exchanged on a whim, as compared to an email or a phone call. This reblending proved to be a powerful combination for people who have different communication medium preferences to be connected on a daily basis. The results of the long-term trial of the Messaging Kettle show that everyday togetherness is possible with connected augmented objects, personal Internet of Things devices used in everyday routines. The Messaging Kettle project showed how the lives of people at a distance can be intertwined on a daily basis. The lesson for design is that artful integration are needed of phatic and informational design and tangible and embodied interfaces that people can collaboratively habituate into their lives in ways that suit them. We invite you to read the paper for more details, such as the in-depth discussion of the concepts everyday togetherness and collaborative habituation. Thank you for listening.